Okay, so we're down here working on the bike, and I got 3 young children down here with me, so we're gonna give this an attempt to install a Dalton clutch kit. So I have a 7.5-inch extension with a 10mm socket and a Phillips screwdriver. So I undid this here for the belt. I slid that up off of the cover. I started with this bolt down here first because it was the hardest one. My rule of thumb is you always do your hardest bolts first. So I started with that one. I got the second one out here. I got the third one out. Now we're on to this guy. So I got all my battery tools, ratchets, impacts. They're all at the shop. I wasn't really planning on getting into this today, but I got enough caveman tools here. I think we can get into the guts of her. This might be a video that kind of goes over a day or two. So when I read the instructions that Dalton sent with the kit, they said important thing to note was to make sure you remove your key and don't unplug your engine brake. There was a little clamp in there, you just fold it back, you pull the extra little bit of wire and harness that they lead you with, and we're supposed to be able to lay this cover up over the seat, and we'll see if that's the case here in a matter of minutes. I've got one bolt left. So this 7.5-inch extension with a shallow 10mm socket has allowed me to get to every single bolt. It's kind of an oddball length extension, but I'm sure you guys can figure something out. Make sure that's up out of the way. I'll clamp here. Remove this cover. So I just had to press down the foot brake to allow that cover to come out of there. So there we go, I guess we got enough. Now they said, they didn't mention about unplugging these, but they said if you left your key in here and something would happen with the emergency brake, and the only way to get it to work, or the engine brake rather, and the only way to get it to work again is it would require a trip to your dealer. So thank you, Dalton, for trying to keep me from going to the dealer. 'Cause nobody likes that. Okay, so I got an impact gun. I don't have a whole lot here for metric sockets at the moment, so this 3/4 single hex socket fits on there nice enough. That's gonna work for me today. So the kit that I got here is this one right here. That's from Dalton Industries, DK750B12M. And you will need a primary clutch puller, which you can also buy through Dalton. DCPG. That's what the clutch puller bolt looks like. I'm gonna see if we can rattle this off of here. So that's a left-handed thread. So they recommend threading that in as far as you can by hand. Looks like we can use the same socket. It actually fits nicer. That's a 3/4 inch. There we go. I pulled off of there pretty decent. It's never fun buying a tool that you use for a split second. Alright, so let's see if I can roll this belt off of here. I don't think I have any socket big enough to get that secondary off. Okay, so there we go. There's the clutch removed. Okay, so we're on the press. I got this is the primary clutch geared up. I'm gonna try and compress it so I can take out the bolts holding on this cover. So I don't have to go crazy, just enough to, it's not gonna fly off and hit me in the face. You guys can see we're doing this from the back corner of our barn. So you don't need the nicest, fanciest stuff. Just a little bit of know-how. Sometimes the internet. Okay. That's excuse me, get that squared up on here. Okay, should be able to take these out. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. I guess maybe having you guys mounted on my head, maybe you guys are getting your view impeded by this press. So we're just gonna take out these bolts. I got this on here, just compressing it. We didn't compress it very much. It does feel a little bit like working with a bomb. letting the pressure off here slowly. Full disclosure, folks, this is the first time I've ever done this. Not super sure what to expect. I just don't want to get caught by a spring in the balls, the teeth, or anything like that. So that didn't seem too bad. So this was marked. The reason I didn't really stop to show you that it was marked, I mean, it would just take you 2 seconds, make a quick X there if there wasn't a mark. So that's that. So here we are, we got our clutch all done. I'm gonna let the pressure back off and the primary clutch is done. Okay, so secondary.
Okay. What do we do next? Do we put it down?
Don't know what's gonna be the best
We can put
option for this. I don't know how much pressure's on that there.
Huh.
How are we gonna do this?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
I thought you were leading this operation. Are you leading this operation?
Yes.
Yes. So what are we gonna do?
We're gonna put that up on that top part right here.
Hey folks, after James took over the operation there on the secondary clutch, we did end up getting it done, but we didn't get it recorded. So I apologize for not getting that recorded. You guys seen the secondary clutch down there. I was trying to find a bearing race. I had lots of bearing races around, so I found one that would fit on there pretty good on the press. I just had to take the grinder. I ground about 1/3 of it out so that I had enough room to get some snap ring pliers in there and get the snap ring undone. After I started taking the pressure off, I realized that the stock spring in the secondary, it wasn't too bad to get off. However, the spring that Dalton sends to put into the secondary is quite a bit taller than the factory spring. I had a heck of a time trying to get that spring into the secondary on my press. I did end up getting it done, but I ended up needing the hand of a buddy. Once we got that spring in the secondary, we got the snap ring back on. It was just probably another 20 minutes after that. Slid the secondary on, bolted, got the bolt in there, belt, primary on, bolted up, torqued, and then it was just push the brake down, slide your cover back on, make sure that your wires are tied up nicely. You don't want any wires hanging around. I ended up, this clamp here, it was just like a little tin clamp. You can see that I broke it. It didn't go back on. So I did have a little bit of time to try this clutch out, and it is low range just blew me away, the difference in low range. Like this thing, when I first got this bike, obviously I was upgrading from a 450, even though I had an 800 Renegade at one time. So I have had bigger bikes, but this bike here was always really torquey, and when I put the lift kit in it, it would actually wheelie easier with the lift kit than it did factory. I don't know, just the geometry was a lot different. Now when I put on the 30s, they slowed me down quite a bit. So this clutch kit, just as if these tires were nothing, like this thing runs like it did with the cheap light little 25s that it comes with. She's right back to running down the road 100 kilometers an hour plus. I haven't gave it a real good high speed run, With these tires, stock clutch, it was just like the pistons were ready to change holes when I was doing. My speedometer would be saying 80, so you'd have to do the calibration. I usually just go to the tire speedo calculator online. So before I'd be maxing out at my real speed would be about 95, 96 with these 30s stock clutch. And yeah, I'm doing 110 down the road by myself now on 30s. It's awesome. Even with my wife on the bike, the two of us, we're still cruising down the dirt road and high range, 100 kilometers an hour, no problem. So I can't wait to get some footage for you guys and see how she turns up in the mud. That video will be coming soon. Later.